Hello, hello, hello. This is Elves, and I'm coming to you from Beamish Crafty Corner. And I wanted to look at these little mini books that I've been getting recently on my scaventured. So I opened one up. Okay, now they say they're 4x4 cover and mirror pages, 3 feet of ribbon. I have a whole bunch of them, so I wanted to figure out what to do with them. So I untied the ribbon and pulled that out, and that's just 1/4-inch ribbon. And I opened it up, and that's when I realized this is actually tucked in to this little slot on each side. Let me just show you that. So this fits right in here, and it's tucked in on both sides. And then there's one staple that holds this all together. So I deconstructed it. I went ahead and pulled this out, and that revealed that the ribbon is just kind of laying in there. Okay? And this is the outside cover, which is a kind of a thin piece of chipboard. It's actually a little thicker than cardstock. Then there's a piece of vellum. And then there's 1, 2, 3 sheets of cardstock in here. And what I've done is I've taken the center hole from the original staple and my pokey tool, and I just kind of reiterated that. Then I went as far up as I wanted to go and as far down as I wanted to go. And then I just kind of moved it around a little bit, and then I split the difference in between. I am going to be using waxed thread as always, but instead of going like we normally would from the inside out, I'm going to go from the outside in on this because I'm actually going to hide that in the cover, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get this needle threaded, which will take forever because I'm blind, and it's a big piece of thread in a tiny little hole. Haha, I did it! And I'm going to start sewing this. Like I said, I'm going to sew it from the outside in. So I'm just going to come in through the center. We are using that 5-point binding. So I'm going to bring that up. And I'm going to go up 1. And then I'm going to come back in from the outside to the inside on this top one. Now I'm going to pull that nice and snug. I don't want to rip it, but I want it snug. And then I'm going to go back through. Just getting that nice and snugged down. Then I'm going to come back up through the center. So I'm going to take that tail, pull it to one side, and go back through that hole. I'm going to repeat the process on the bottom. Skipping over the staple hole. We don't want to go through the staple hole. It's going to disappear under the thread anyway. We're going to come back up to the bottom hole. Back up through that hole. And we're going to come back up to the center. When we come back up to the center, we're going to go under the stitch and under the tail. Right over left, left over right. You guys know the drill. Okay. All right. So that's the first step to making this a better mousetrap. All right. Now the staple that they put in here, it's pretty sturdy staple actually. But that's not what we want for our book. So now we have this nice, clean stitching down the center. We have our threads. We have this. Now, this actually moves in there, see? I don't know if you guys can see that, but yeah, you can see it. See? It's moving. I don't want it to do that. So I'm going to draw this up, make sure that it's nice and even. And I'm just going to drop some double-sided sticky tape in here. right there in the middle, making sure this is nice and even. And I'm just going to press that down. All right, now I'm going to put my book back together. This side in first. Now to get this side in, I'm actually going to push that back. And once I've got that in the middle, where I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and press it down onto that little piece of tape that I put in there. Now that should keep everything from moving around. Yeah, I like it. Okay, so now that we've actually got this book to where we can use it, we're going to go about decorating this. Now, normally, I would be all about the bang here for the buck, but that's not really what we're looking for. For this, because it's so small, and I think that this is something that we'd want to have for a specific memory, like your child's spring concert. Maybe you want to make a little brag book to send to Grandma and Grandpa. So you're going to, maybe put some pictures in this and things like that. So we're going to stick to very tiny embellishments, very flat embellishments. We don't want this to be too wide. Of course, we've got plenty of ribbon here to tie it off, but just some small embellishments, okay? So I'm going to decide a theme for this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and I have most of this cut out and ready to go. So let's take a look at where we are. All right, so we've got our little book, and I kind of opened it up, and I'm sort of deciding where things are going to go and how I want things to look. So I've gone through and I've fussy cut out some pieces here just to kind of set everything up where I want it. And this is kind of my rough out. Real quick. And we've still got the last page to do. And for that, we're going to be doing this image right here. And I'm going to be using that ceramic pen. So it's got the tiny little ceramic tip right here. And that's what I'm going to be using to cut this out. Now, so that's going to be the last image we put in. So it's going to go in the very back here. All right. So what I decided to do with this was basically to kind of make a small spring journal, and I'm going to include it with this seed packet that I'm going to put some seeds into, and then I'm going to put the whole thing in a beautiful envelope and tie it all up, or maybe just put some ribbon around it and tie it together. So let's go ahead and get to decorating this thing. Now this is actually off of a set of Debbie Mum sticky notes. And so what I am going to do is I'm going to use tape on this. It's very lightweight. On the edge of my page here, almost all the way to the edge, making sure that I'm lining up everything nice and straight. There we go. And then I'm just going to use a little bit of my glue here. A little piece there that I don't like. There we go. And I'm going to be using my art glitter glue. I'm going to put this right along the edge here. Just like that. And we're going to go ahead and move on to the next page. And on the next page I have a piece of paper. And what I want to do here is I kind of want to put a piece of paper and then have my watering pot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and ink this piece of paper up a little bit. And I kind of like the blue in the flower, so that's what I'm going to be accenting. And this is a stamping spot from Stampin' Up. I have a few of them that I've collected over time. And it just is the right color for these flowers. So we're going to tape the paper because this is very thin. And whenever it's thin, we don't want to use glue because glue will cause it to buckle. So we're going to be using tape. We're just going to go around the outside, a little bit in the middle. And I'm going to put this here so I can see where I want this. Like that. Okay. So I'm going to put that down. And then, of course, glue on this because it's cardstock. Not a chance I would ever fussy cut this. Just there like that. Okay. And then I've got this little piece here that I cut, and I just cut this out as a stamp, and then I just cut a piece of green cardstock for the back, and I just used my pinking shears to cut this out. And my original thought was to make this a flip, but once I used the pinking shears, I couldn't do that. So I'm going to go ahead and just glue this down on the page. I'm going to put it right in the middle. And I'm probably going to make a paper clip for this page. So moving on to the next part, we have this. And we have some evening primrose. And then I have this page over here. And some foxgloves. Now, I don't really want to ink this too much because I'm really not looking to make it stand out so much as I'm kind of trying to get this to blend. I just want it to look like it's a piece of writing paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some tape to this. And a little blue on my evening primrose. I'm going to do the same thing on this page. Tape. And then the foxglove is going to go at the top. And I kind of want to round this one a little bit, so I'm going to get my smallest corner rounder. Teeny, teeny, tiny. Okay. Put this one in just a little bit. Put that one on the page. We're going to move on to the next page. Now on this one, I just decided that what I was going to do is I was just going to put just some random seed packets. So I am going to round the corners on all of these. So I'm going to round these corners first. Now on this one, that one needs to be trimmed. Hair more. There we go. Now on these, I want these to kind of look a little older. So here's something you don't hear me say often. I'm going to get out some vintage photo. Ink up my inker here. Just going to add a little vintage photo to these. It's going to help them blend a little bit into the page as well, because otherwise they just kind of stand out. You don't want them to do that. Okay. put a dot. And I like, when I'm doing these little flip paper flowers, I like to use brads. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. This makes for 4. It's too dark. We need something lighter and brighter. We might be sticking with 3 here, because these are lighter, but they're way too big. Come on here and see. Well, it may not be too big. Let's take a look. Take that back. It's way too big. We could maybe go with this. This is better. Yeah, I like that better. I like that better. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Spread up. What do you think? I like it. I like it a lot. Okay. So let's just move these over a little bit. Okay. And then we're going to put some hot glue on the back of this little goober. We're going to pop that right there. Now, the button's going to be hot, just so you know, because you're putting hot glue on the other side of it, so that it's going to go through. So if you're using a metal brad, just know that it's going to be hot. Let's get rid of any of those that we have. Fantastico. Put this over here to dry. Gonna cool off. There we go. All right. So now it's pretty simple. We've got our little cover, a little journaling cards, journaling space, and more journaling space. We've got a little cute little design here with a little paper clips, journaling space. We have some little cards and our little mini tuck spots right here. Now you may find that with these you may want to put a little more glue just to take it over a little further. And if you do, that's fine. Just remember, don't put your cards back in until your glue sets up, okay? And then got a little spot here to write something, a little something here you can write. We have some dimensional pieces here and just some blank spaces for pictures and things. A little more writing space right here in the back, and that last piece of vellum. So of course, to close this up, we're simply going to wrap the ties around. Bring them right back up here to the front. Now you could wrap this a couple of times if you wanted to, or you can just wrap it around once just like this, and then take your little scissors. Take those off. I know, that's an awfully big bow. Not one of my better bows, guys. Okay. So that's it. That's our little book. Just one of the ideas that you can do using these little 4x4s. I'm going to add a little sticker pad, a seed pack to that, and send it off to a friend of mine. And I think that she will enjoy planting those seeds and growing some flowers in a couple of months when spring comes around. So, what a perfect little project if you've got the winter ho-hums. Here it is, just a cute little pocket journal with some little writing space, maybe for your friend to write, what they're going to be planning for spring or how they want to lay out their garden. Certainly a great little idea. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me. Do me a favor. If you see a new channel, subscribe. Build our community, okay? Make us stronger. As for my channel, do me a favor. Go down there to the red button. Hit the subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends. Because I'm making little tiny journals out of 4x4 inch books. Till the next time, guys. Bye-bye.